Where did they go? Did Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige forget what they teased? Or did something happen where Marvel Studios pressed the panic button? As a lifelong Marvel fan, we were trained and taught that as soon as the film ends, you better not leave that seat. You're to stay there until the post-credit scenes, which are Marvel's staple. And even with the past 37 movies of the post-credit scenes taglines, we stay in our seats, waiting to see what is next for the MCU. Even to this day, watching the Odyssey or watching the other films that are in theaters, I tend to still have that Marvel bug where I'm just sitting in my seat waiting for if there's a post-credit scene for these non-Marvel movies. But I was wait for Avengers Doomsday. I just thought, the first Avengers movies in damn near 6 years since the end of Endgame, I think about all those times that Marvel has led us astray, has teased us with these post-credit scenes, and how I was excited about all the possibilities when I watched them. But now I feel like I'm more conflicted about where did they go? Well, isn't this all supposed to connect? And in 2020, when Disney debuted Disney Plus, it meant more Marvel content, which means more pressure on Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige to produce and connect all of these different avenues of television shows, animation shows, and the live action movies. So today I want to divulge into all of the past phases 4 to now Marvel films of the post-credit scenes that went nowhere, as well as the 13 live action Disney Plus TV shows that we did not get any follow-up on. Why hasn't there been the immediate, where's this going? Where's this character going? But will we ever get the payoff in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars? The question is, what went wrong? Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings, which Wong brings Shang-Chi and Katie through a holographic meeting with Bruce Banner, whose arm is still in a sling. If you guys watch She-Hulk, his arm was in a sling because he injured it in the car accident in She-Hulk, as well as Captain Marvel. They're analyzing the Ten Rings and discovered that they predated Wenwu 1,000 years and are not made from any known tech, nor Avengers tech or alien tech. And Wong reveals that they're using the Ten Rings to send out an atomic level beacon signal. With the Eternals, Athena, Makar, and Druig on their spaceship at the end of the Eternals. When the glowy flashing lights, we see Eros and Pip the Troll. They say their friends and the other Eternals are endangered and they're going to offer their help. And he reveals that he's the Prince of Titan, the brother of Thanos. And also we have at the end is Dane Whitman, who opens up a mysterious ebony blade in a box, which we hear, are you ready for that, Mr. Whitman, from Mahershala Ali Blade. His first entrance in the MCU was in a post-credit line in Eternals. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We got to see Doctor Strange walking in the streets of Manhattan when Clea, a sorceress out of nowhere, comes out, says that the multiverse is collapsing, there's the incursions, and she needs his help. She cuts open to the dark dimension, and off they go, and Doctor Strange gets his third eye. Thor, Love and Thunder. Zeus, after the Thor's attack, commands his son Hercules to track down Thor and to defeat him in honor of Zeus. As well as we get Jane Foster, when she died, her consciousness went to Valhalla, where she's She's met there by Heimdall, played by Idris Elba, welcoming her to the land of the gods and thanking her for watching over his son. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, we get the reveal that Nakia and T'Challa had a secret son named Toussaint, Prince T'Challa. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, the Council of Kings, worrying about the Earth's mightiest heroes begin to touch and destabilize the multiverse, as well as the Victor Timely in 1901 that leads up to Loki Season 2, with Loki and Morbius in the audience looking on to one of King's variants in astonishment. Guardians of the Galaxies 3, Rocket Raccoon leads the whole new Guardians team, including Groot, Kraglin, Cosmo the dog, Adam Warlock, Blurp, and Phyla. The Marvels, Kamala Khan tracks down one Kate Bishop, insanely recruiting the young Avengers with Nick Fury-like iPad tech, as well as the Monica Rambeau wakes up in a parallel universe, which we see in the Marvels film. She wakes up to see her mother, Maria Rambeau, just amazed to see her, and we get to see Dr. Hank McCoy as Beast, analyzing that Monica traveled through a tear in space-time into a parallel reality, and mentions that Charles Xavier is asking for an update, followed by the X-Men theme. Brave New World, Sam visits the raft after everything, and Stearns warns Sam that a massive clash is coming and asks if he thinks his world is the only one. Thunderbolts, 14 months later, the team in the old Avengers Tower is now the Thunderbolts Tower, the new Avengers Tower. It sees the Fantastic Four ship entering Earth's orbit. Fantastic Four First Steps, it came out last year, set 4 years after the events of Fantastic Four First Steps. We see Doctor Doom taking off his mask, approaching Franklin Richards, and Franklin Richards touching his face. Along with some of the television shows post-credit scenes I'm just going to go over is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sharon Carter reveals that she is pardoned from the United States government and is revealed to be the power broker who's side dealing and intended to sell the government secrets and prototype weapons on the black market. Moon Knight, we see Jake Lockley kidnap Arthur Harrow and Awesome in Khonshu's limo in that post-credit scene. She-Hulk, we get to see Hulk introducing his son Sakaar into the MCU, into the family. Secret Invasion, although not a post-credit scene, Gaia, probably like one of the most powerful Skrulls out there, forms a new alliance with the MI6 agent Sonya Falsworth, as well as Nick Fury reunites with his wife and he heads up back to Saber. Agatha All Along, not a post-credit scene, but it set up Agatha as a ghost with Billy Maximoff on their journey to find Tommy. Ironheart, the Hood, Parker Robbins at the end goes to Zelma at the shop asking for some magic help, and also at the end of Ironheart, as a keynote, Riri made a deal with Mephisto to get her friend back. Going over all these post-credit scenes, it's highly unlikely like things like the Council of Kings, Eros, and Pip. The introduction of Hercules going after to revenge Zeus's right on Thor's attack on him, on his father. Secret Invasion with Gaia and the MI6. We have the Power Broker, Sharon Carter. No follow-up on that. We're probably not getting a follow-up on Ironheart series with Parker Robbins and Zelma. We still don't know what they're going to do with Riri and Mephisto. The thing is there's a big problem with Marvel Studios. is that they gave us so much to chew on post Endgame. And yes, a lot of us ate all that crap up, like me and myself. But looking back at it, there was more bad than good compared to being good than bad, when you realize half the stuff did not go anywheres. The thing that Marvel taught us is that everything matters. Everything's connected. It's a connected multiverse. And the thing is, the multiverse is what kind of put a damper on the franchise post Endgame, which we knew the multiverse saga, this was going to bound to happen. But waiting in the theaters at the time, being so hyped and anticipated, like, oh my gosh, this is going to set up the Young Avengers. Like, Miss Marvel recruiting Kate Bishop, who's soon going to be recruiting Cassie Lang. We got introduction of Billy and Tommy Maximoff, Sakaar, like all the Young Avengers. Like, oh my God, we're going to get the Young Avengers in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. That's not guaranteed. And it just goes to show that there's a reason why the industry says that there's superhero fatigue. And it's superhero fatigue because as fans and as people who are not keen into the comics or into the day-to-day of the rumors, mills of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, etc., is they tease a lot. They want to give us a lot to be hyped for the future, but there's some things that we look forward to that we might not ever get a payoff to. Eternals is the one film out of all these films that came out post Endgame has a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Maybe more than Ant-Man and Quantumania with Kang and that whole fiasco. Because the Eternals was an out of ballpark group that the fans were excited to see, but with Chloe Zhao and her directing, a lot of people did not really like it. And it came out to the part of the time where COVID was still a main factor, and not a lot of people went to go see that movie in theaters. And to have Harry Styles as the post-credit tagline scene, saying that he's the Prince of Titan, brother of Thanos, and we're never going to get the payoff for that, is quite absurd. More absurd is also with Eternals, Blade. Blade's that project that has never gotten off the ground. In fact, Kevin Feige recently, this past weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, admitted that we're not where we're at, and he feels like he's part of the blame of why Blade never came to fruition. And Mahershala Ali's only appearance in the MCU was in the Eternals, saying, "Are you ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" And there's been zilch, like no update on when that Blade character, if there's going to be a TV show, a movie, anything about Blade going to be in the future. But as well as there is the bad, there is some good with all these post-credit scenes, is that we begin some of these payoffs. In just past weekend, Ryan Coogler, Kevin Feige, and the crew of Black Panther franchise were on stage, and they introduced one of the post-credit scenes of Wakanda Forever. The introduction of Toussaint, the new T'Challa, will be played by David Johnson from The Long Walk and Alien Romulus. Fantastic casting. I'm so excited for that. I'm excited that they're following up on the promise that they gave us fans. Say, hey, we know what we want to do, but you have to bear with us while we take our time to make all that stuff happen. We also got an announcement this past weekend of a Ryan Gosling Ghost Rider film, which I don't know if that will ever come out. And I say that because, like, look at Blade. Blade is still on the shelf or in limbo, wherever at Marvel Studios, and they don't know where they want to fit it in. I think the biggest thing is Avengers Doomsday is coming out later this year. And by the rumors and the leaks about what the movie is going to be about, it's highly unlikely we're going to get any of these payoffs. But maybe a few, given Monica Rambeau is in the movie. They're going to obviously pay off that Marvel's post-credit scene. I don't ever think we're going to get the payoff to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, given the fact that in Loki Season 2, they did a little line to say that, oh, something happened on the 616 adjacent realm, and they took care of it. The Guardians of the Galaxy, one of James Gunn's precious IPs before you leave into Helm DC Studios. There's been no update of, are we going to get Guardians of the Galaxy 4? Will they ever come back? Because we know that Chris Pratt is supposedly being teased to be returning as Peter Quill in Vision Quest that comes out later this fall. And one other thing is the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. When they did the analyze on the Ten Rings, I guaranteed that was supposed to connect with Kang in the multiverse tech, as well as Kamala and her technology, and the whole, what they were setting up in the Marvels. It was all going to connect with King the Conqueror, He Who Remains, who was teased and start building up in Loki, which Loki, WandaVision, two of the greatest Marvel television shows of all time. And as soon as they got rid of the King and deleted everything they want to do with King the Conqueror due to the Jonathan Majors situation, they switched gears to bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, which at first I was very skeptical on, but hearing the leaks that are coming out of the movie, I believe that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be phenomenal in this role. And it just sucks that some of the build-up they were leading to, we were never going to get the payoff in this Avengers movie. It's 6 years in between from the Endgame to Avengers Doomsday. So, like, some of the stuff, we're not going to get the payoff. Maybe we're going to get the payoff on post-Secret Wars, because I don't really think it's going to be a fully reboot on the whole universe. Maybe we can get the Young Avengers in a television show of Cassie Lang, who's also in Avengers Doomsday, through the trailer. A Kate Bishop returning, a Kamala Khan, Billy and Tommy, Sakaar. And to move forward with that, because they have the X-Men coming, and that's also going to be a big factor for the franchise moving forward. But I just hope that Marvel learns from their mistakes, from phases 4 all the way up to now, that, hey, not everything needs a follow-up. It needs that post-credit scene, even though as fans, we want that post-credit scene. Like Deadpool and the Wolverine have like a little offliner one with Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. Didn't go really anywhere. It wasn't supposed to go anywhere. Not everything needs to go somewhere if you do not have a plan for it. Which, not everything needs to be a movie if you have no plans for it. Not everything needs to be a television show if you don't have any plans for it. It's quite obvious they had no clue what to do with Secret Invasion. Kevin Feige does not want to say anything about the Eternals. And most importantly, Ant-Man and the Wasp was built up to be building up to Kang Dynasty, and what happened to that is like nobody wants to talk about whatever happened to Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania. It's all focused on Avengers Doomsday, and rightfully so, because these past movies, Fantastic Four was great, Captain America Brave New World was decent, Thunderbolts was amazing, Thunderbolts Fantastic Four. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day that comes out this week, in Avengers Doomsday. Those four right there, if you're new to the franchise, watch these four movies, and they're the ones that, in my opinion, from that forward, is the whole start of the Doctor Doom and what Marvel has to plan for the future. Anything prior to that, yes, is good. Some of my favorite stuff is before this whole period of Captain America onto Secret Wars, and that little time frame. Everything before that, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching with my brothers on Wednesdays, on a Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever these television shows came out, going to the movies on the early screenings to watch them, and like talking amongst my family, my friends, like, oh my gosh, this is going to set up so-and-so, and it's going to connect here and here and here. But Marvel lost the plot in these past couple of years, and slowly but surely they're going to be back on track. And I have full faith in Kevin Feige that he will, and he is currently going to right the ship. But it's just crazy to think about of the mishaps of one of the greatest studios of all time has shown their flaws in the past couple years of not only setting up these post-credit scenes, but also not really having much of direction that you could tell from the face front. So did Marvel press the panic button? Did they just forget? Or will we have to be patient, yes, patient, to get our payoff in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars? Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like more of this content, please give me a like down below. Subscribe to me if you guys have not subscribed to the channel. Follow me at Zayzay Reviews on X, Instagram, Facebook, right here on the channel, TikTok, anywhere on all platforms is Zayzay Reviews. And I'll be here the rest of the week. This channel is all about giving my honest opinion on reviews of movies, television, things and rumors and speculation that's out there, and sorting through it, because as a nerd, I love this stuff. I love Marvels. I love DC. I love Star Wars. I like films, Christopher Nolan's, Steven Spielberg's, you name it. I love all that stuff. And I'm just excited to have this opportunity, have this platform to discuss what I love. And I cannot wait to see Spider-Man Brand New Day. Got my Spider-Man shirt on right here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. And just to close on with this video, I just want to say, what are your thoughts on the post-credit scenes that Marvel has not given us a payoff on? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.